Some phenomenal action today in the index. We came into the session wanting to see whether or not ES was going to follow the leader NQ with that daily breakout. As a reminder, NQ triggered that daily breakout, at least on that prior 5 to 6 session range yesterday, which gave us a great clue that there was going to be some follow through on today's action. NQ has been a leader as of late, past few weeks, past few months. And so that was a phenomenal, again, just a phenomenal clue as to what to expect with ES for today's session. QQQ currently at all-time highs, as well as SPY. Taking a look at the index ETF here, you can see QQQ well into the highs here. Taking a look at SPY making a fresh all-time high today as well. Essentially, we came into the session on ES wanting to see, like I said, the reaction versus that 48.40 area. Now, we did gap higher, bit of consolidation off the open. NQ this morning showing some relative strength versus ES. If we take a look at the intraday chart here in ES, you have that initial pullback. Not really the case in NQ, right? NQ, you have a test of that prior breakout point at the 17,165 level. Bit of consolidation, and then just once it kind of breaks that overnight pre-market high, starts to trigger the trend day. NQ is definitely the easier trade as far as the action this morning. Taking a look again at the near-term action. What I like to see on setups like this is just some type of reference point that I can lean on. Now with ES, price was coming into an area of resistance. I don't like to trade long setups personally into an area of resistance. So when we have NQ already clearing that local resistance, that's always going to be the easier trade. So NQ, my primary focus this morning. And the reason being is, again, look at the level right through here, that 17,165 level. It's the main level I was leaning on for the session. Can't really quite tell on the 15-minute chart, but if I change the time frame to the 60-minute, let this kind of refresh, you'll see that high from December 28th right through there. So take a look at this just to paint the context here. You have 5-6 days of just range trading, right? NQ breaks that range during yesterday's session. Now we're coming into these highs. This is a good sign. Break of this, 5-6 session consolidation yesterday. That's a good sign that this local high is going to be broken. Not a ton of resistance through here, especially after this consolidation. I've talked about it repeatedly before, but as a reminder, anytime you have price consolidating near an obvious area of resistance, that is not a bearish development. That's always going to be a bullish development. That's a reaccumulation cycle prior to the next leg higher. So to see 5 or 6 kind of consolidation sessions here on NQ, a breakout yesterday, and then a gap higher this morning, that's a phenomenal clue, again, that, prices are going to be resolving higher. And so coming into the sesh, like I mentioned this morning in that pre-market prep live stream, we want to see buyers defending this 17,165 level. You have 2 tests this morning, 3 tests actually, right through here, right through here, right through here. This is the final test. Eventually resolves higher. Up into, I had this as the main target for today, the 17,390 level. So trades up into that level, breaks higher. You have a retest that adds confirmation that our level was spot on, and then trades into absolute highs to close the session on NQ. So what is next? We're just looking for a continuation move here on NQ. Now, generally speaking, when you have periods, long periods of consolidation, like we do on, well, it's cleaner on ES, but like we do on NQ as well, about a month-long period of just sideways trading here, that's usually going to resolve in a rather large leg higher for example, if you take a look at all previous consolidation areas right through here, right? Take a look at that one. Look how many sessions higher this traded, right? So we can kind of start to expect the same from something like this, but the real range that we're working with is actually much wider, considering this the range. So expecting kind of a multi-day leg here coming from the daily and weekly timeframes. See our weekly right through here. So NQ not quite into the all-time highs. That's just going to be a discrepancy in how the futures contracts are priced. But as far as NASDAQ is concerned, the actual index itself, QQQ as well as NDX, yeah, it's well into the highs. It's well into all-time highs. So as far as NQ trading next week, what I'm going to be looking at, again, is just a continuation move. Generally speaking, after a big volatility expansion move, you want to be real cautious. How I like to treat this type of day on the following day is to expect an inside day. Make sure your expectations are in line for Monday's session. Fully expecting an inside day. If we do get that follow through day, that's amazing, but we want to make sure we're not, coming into the session all hyped up that another trend day is going to be materializing on NQ. Certainly within the realm of possibilities, right? But I prefer to come into that session just expecting an inside day, and then maybe on Tuesday's session, we see that inside day break to the upside. Now on ES, quite similar approach here. We have a month of consolidation, right? Take a look at this. Some month-long consolidation. Before that, we had 8 to 9 weeks of just pure rallying here. Price made a new 52-week high, trades higher, pulls back, retests that prior 52-week high, right? Pretty textbook stuff here. You have a retest of the highs, pullback that doesn't quite make it down into that area of support. Rally yesterday, and then the follow through today, triggering the daily breakout and move into all-time highs for SPX and SPY. ES, again, not quite there yet. Do still have some upper areas of resistance here that we'll be using for reference points on Monday, but very similar approach here on ES for Monday's session. What I like to see is likely an inside day would be welcomed. Again, follow through day within the realm of possibilities, but as far as expectation management for the session, I want to be looking for an inside day and then kind of having a alternate plan for that continuation move. Now, here's what I was talking about with ES being a little bit trickier today. Pulls back, a little more weakness versus NQ in the morning. The nice reference point we had on ES besides our 48.20 level of interest was that prior day high. So you could see buyers finding some interest versus that prior day high right where my cursor is. Now, the tricky part is, at least for my trading approach, is that all of this red zone is resistance. And so per my system, it's very, very challenging to be taking longs into resistance. I have to wait for this resistance to break to the upside, and then I need some type of pullback. So right through here, I can get involved. Can certainly scalp, opportunities into that resistance zone, but I prefer to just trade a better setup, and that's what we had in NQ. So primary focus was NQ on my end for those reasons. That's pretty much it for the index trade. Looking for either an inside day or continuation move on Monday. Individual names pretty dry. Went through the entire list. I did find a decent setup in coin. Want to see if coin can start to put in a reversal off of this sell-off now. So let's take a look, see if we have some type of fib level here. Yeah, this is a daily buy zone between the 50 and 61% fib. So that's looking decent, kind of loosely aligns with that prior high, right? See if we get a bounce on coin on Monday. Just a technical setup, no news or anything in that one. And we should have more earnings coming in over the next couple of weeks as well, getting into earnings season. But other than that, the index opportunities have been phenomenal. Will be primarily focused on almost exclusively long only trades into next week until we see a real sell bar. So just as an FYI, if you're listening right now, I'm going to be most likely long only next week. Definitely don't want to be fighting a daily breakout. Don't want to be thinking about overbought or any other nonsense like that. We just want to be trading price. Price shows a daily breakout. Focus on longs. Does not mean that, short opportunities won't materialize. It's just if you want to trade with the primary structure, the primary trend, you're focused on long setups. So that's pretty much the recap for today. Great Friday. Nice action today, all things considered. Good volume on the session. So we'll see what we get on Monday. Hope everyone had a great day, had a great week. Don't forget to get that daily review done, that weekly review as well. You want to be looking at any repeat errors you may have made, any opportunities you may have overlooked that are within your playbook that you could have traded, any behavioral issues that are coming out within your trading. If you're bag holding, you want to work on correcting that next week. So make sure you get that review done. That's definitely where all of the improvement comes from as a trader. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a DM over the weekend in the think tank. Be happy to help out. Otherwise, see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Take care.